A long time ago, a wealthy king had 3 beautiful daughters. They had everything they wanted offered to them on a platter of gold. However, one thing was missing in their lives. None of them had a husband, nor did they have a suitor. This made the king very unhappy. He had food, but he could not eat. "What shall we do now?" he asked his wife. "I want my children to be happily married," he said, "but they think no one is good enough for them." The king's daughters, however, were not worried. "I want to marry the richest man alive," said the oldest sister, Kunta. "I want to marry the most handsome man," said the second sister, Kunte, with a hint of arrogance. As for the youngest, Kunti, she added, "I want to marry a king like my father. Only he will be richer and more powerful. Oh, what a life I shall live, being the queen of a great empire." Their mother, the queen, sighed. "Whoever marries my daughters will be a lucky man, seeing how beautiful they all are. Oh no, my daughters will only marry the best men in the whole land." The king's heart was troubled. "I will find men who will love and care for my daughters. I will not watch them grow old without husbands and children," he declared. "Do whatever you want," said the queen, "but my daughters will only marry anyone who can tell their names. That way, I will be sure they are marrying the wisest man in the entire land." It was announced throughout the kingdom that the king sought the wisest man to marry his daughters. Whoever could tell their names would be given their hands in marriage. The rich and famous came with gifts to the palace. They tried to guess the princesses' names, but none could. No one ever called them by their real names. Everyone only called them the princesses. Soon, every eligible man in the land had tried, but all failed. It seemed no one could claim the daughters of the king. Then, a very crafty tortoise decided to give it a try. But before he went to the palace, the tortoise devised a clever plan to learn the princesses' names. Under the cover of night, when the guards were fast asleep, he quietly climbed the tallest mango tree in the royal garden. Hidden among the branches, he waited patiently. When the eldest princess, Kunta, came out to the garden, the tortoise dropped a plump golden mango at her feet. "Surprised?" she exclaimed. "Kunte, come and see this big mango." The tortoise listened carefully, etching her name into memory. Not long after, the second princess, Kunte, wandered outside. The tortoise dropped another ripe mango near her. She laughed and called out, "Kunti, come quickly. Look at this mango." And finally, the youngest, Kunti, appeared. The tortoise repeated his trick. She picked up the mango, giggled, and called her name clearly into the night. By the first light of dawn, the tortoise knew all 3 names: Kunta, Kunte, and Kunti. Hidden high in the mango tree, he smiled to himself, knowing his patience, wit, and courage had finally given him the knowledge he needed. The tortoise went to the palace and spoke to the king. The whole town gathered as he said the name of each princess aloud: Kunta, Kunte, and Kunti. Everyone was shocked. The king had no choice but to give all his daughters to the tortoise as his wives. The princesses and the queen were extremely sad, but there was nothing anyone could do. And so, the tortoise started to take the princesses home as his wives. On the way, the princesses were so ashamed that each chose a very different lifestyle rather than live as the tortoise's wife. Since that day, no one ever saw the princesses again. The king and queen were very sad, but there was nothing anyone could do. If only the princesses and their mother had known, they would not have been so proud and arrogant in choosing their husbands.